An absolute shocker for the Iowa Hawkeyes. On Thursday, we're going through the match-by-match breakdown here for this duel, and it's like, man, it could come down to a bonus point from Austin Gomez. It could come down to, if Michigan can win 57 or 65, they could just edge out Iowa. And it ends up being a 24-11 beating from the Wolverines. I mean, Michigan, start to finish, was outstanding this entire duel. And it started at 125, but before we get into the match-by-match, the biggest news, the biggest upset, the biggest result so far of the weekend, number one Real Woods goes down to Sergio Lemley, and he goes down big. He got majored by the true freshman from Michigan, and it started off scoreless first period. Real ends up giving up a reversal to his back for big points and was never really close to scoring again. And at the end, Sergio Lemley locks up a near side cradle, puts Real Woods on his back. He looked flat. He looked packed to me. They didn't call the fall, but as it stood, that was as the match expired, and Sergio Lemley pulls off the huge upset, majoring Real Woods. And then you're thinking, okay, it's going to be hard for Michigan to not win this duel now, and they just continue to roll from there. But it started at 125, where Michael D'Agostino won a very scrappy, calculated match against Drake Ayala, who could not get the finishes he needed to take out Michael D'Agostino. He wins in tiebreakers by riding out Drake Ayala, who was this close to getting a reversal that would have flipped the results. But good win for Michael D'Agostino, who a week ago teched Brendan McCrone of Ohio State after missing some time and having a tough performance at CKLV, starting to round into form. Ragusin rolled against Cullen Shriver. And at 49, it was Victor Voinovich that went interestingly for the Hawks against Austin Gomez, but he was able to hold Gomez to a decision victory. Austin Gomez, of course, looking like one of the top 149-pounders in the country, and not much to write about with this one. Simple win here for Austin Gomez, and man, 157. No surprises here. Overtime match for Williwan, tiebreaker match for Williwan, and he wins by 1 second of riding time advantage. That's right. It is the quintessential Williwan victory here. Just vintage here. Taking out a very good Jared Franek, who has been outstanding all year long. And Williwan knocks him off. Michael Caliendo takes out Bo Mantanona. No Cam Amin here. And then Shane Griffith versus Patrick Kennedy. This is another match where, like, this could be the swing match that if Iowa can get this one, then they're almost a lock, or they're likely to win this. Well, it goes scoreless into the second period. Patrick Kennedy makes the same mistake that Rocco Welch did. He goes under Shane Griffith. He gets turned right away for 4 near fall, and Griffith rolled from there, ends up majoring Kennedy. Kennedy's looked really tough the last couple weeks. This is a step back, but it's also could be a step up for Shane Griffith. This guy is an NCAA champion. He's a multiple All-American. Really hard guy to beat. He's had some down matches, some down performances this year. There's no question about it. But this is the best match I think Shane's wrestled all year long, and it could be a little bit of a sign that he's rounding into form a little bit, to his old form where he could be contending for high All-American honors yet again. 84, nothing really to discuss. A close win for Riggins over Walker of Michigan, who's not their normal starter. Glazier wins by tech against Strigow, and then Davison gets a major over Bradley Hill for to cap it off in a dominant win for Michigan. And we had talked throughout the season, pretty much expectations. Iowa, in every duel they've wrestled, they've outperformed them. They outperformed it against Iowa State. They really wrestled well. They wrestled really, really well against Nebraska a couple weeks ago. And this this could have been, were they looking ahead to Penn State? Was it just a down match? Was it a training cycle thing? I don't know. But these things happen, and this was a down performance for Iowa. But now it doesn't get any easier. In fact, it's going to get a lot harder. They wrestle Penn State next week. And obviously, every single year, this is the number one match. This is the one people are most excited about watching. And while Iowa had their down match, maybe Penn State had their down match, but the difference is Penn State has plenty of margin for error because their team is just so good. It's all-time good, right? We're still talking. They lost Shane Van Ness, And people are still talking about this team potentially breaking the scoring record. And I don't think it's audacious, even still. Tyler Kasich looks like the real deal. But for Iowa, taking on Penn State, it's going to be a really, really tough match. And for the Woods, and I meant to mention when I was talking about the match, how do you process that? Or moving forward, what do you think about Real Woods? Because on the one hand, he got major, but on the other hand, let's give a little context. He had been out the last couple weeks, presumably with an injury of some kind. We know that first match back can be tough, but this is a match, especially knowing this is a tight duel. Everyone knows it's a tight duel. They have to have Real Woods to beat Michigan was the thought. So maybe you bring him back not too early, but first match back is a really, really tough one. And so you take a loss there. I'm not selling the farm on Real Woods by any stretch. It is a notable loss. And more than anything, Sergio Lemley, coming into this year, I thought he'll be good. He'll be good eventually. He'll have some nice moments. I had no idea how ready this kid was, the kind of points he'd be able to score. He's very mature for a true freshman wrestler. I've been super impressed with Lemley start to finish this year, and clear choice to use him at 141 pounds this year. And this is a great result for Michigan. Michigan looked good. They've had some down matches themselves. You know, they lost to South Dakota State this year. They've had some other duels where they didn't look as good. But man, big duel against Iowa. Congrats to Michigan. They deserve all the praise after that one.